Okay, it's probably recording. The soft tissue areas under your tongue, around the medulla oblongata, back of the head, along the sides of the head, under the arms where glands are, of course, all along the lymphatic system, really, is where I'm going to call it the fungus centers from, where it originates out of, where the mycelium network grows from. It's almost like a gelatinous, semi-liquid goo. Maybe it's the black goo, I don't know. But, and it is truly the cause of aging. It's the cause of everything. It is the source of all disease. Other than, getting hit by a car, falling off a cliff, things like that. It is the source of it. It's what makes the pigment cells, where my fingers at here? There we go. Pigment cells stop producing pigment and hair to begin to turn white and gray and silver, right? Which is also not simply a result of there not being pigment. That wouldn't happen just because you wouldn't get a snow white appearance on these people's beards and mustaches and hair and stuff if it was simply the pigment quit being supplied. It wouldn't turn pure snow white. It takes something that is pure snow white to overtake the hair and make it pure white, in my opinion. It's more evidence of this fungus, and this fungus really enjoys living in the lymph veins and all through the lymphatic system. And as it proliferates that system, in my story, it stops that system from functioning. And so one of the first Morgellons symptoms that you may not realize, and it doesn't seem like a problem at first, is less body hair. It stops growing quite as much as previously, and which doesn't seem like bad, and less sweat. You seem to sweat not as much as you had before, but it really is the mycelium, and maybe the mycelium is like the fruiting body of this fungus, but it's nanoscopic scale. It's super thin, and grows through like pores, like in between the parts of your body. It goes around the sheathing of the nerves, and it goes around the veins and everything, and it begins to choke it off like a vine after a while. It's like a weaving vine. Maybe there's spiders in there, the weaving spiders, But anyway, there's a lot of ways to look at it metaphorically, because you can't look at it visually. I don't have anything capable of doing that. And if you could, it would be difficult to discern. Anyway, it's there. I determined by its effects. It's electrically interactive, so all of these electrical extra signals that are in our air are interacting with it. I mean, it's impossible that they wouldn't be. It's like, you ever messed with a radio and an antenna before and had antenna issues on an old radio or something. You touch it and suddenly it comes in. Our bodies are picking up electromagnetic frequencies like we're antennas. So you fill the antenna with more metal, and obviously it's going to pick up frequencies and more frequencies. And if all those metal pieces are the same size, it's going to pick up specific wavelengths of frequencies. This is all practical common sense as far as understanding waves and frequencies. Nothing I'm making up here. Those are facts. But anyway, so this is one of the places that's highly concentrated. It's very soft tissue here. It likes the soft areas, beside and next to muscles, but not particularly on muscles, except on the wrists for some reason, and kind of on the ankles too. Anyway, see, I've noticed as I vaporize the shit off of me, whatever I take off of my head and my neck and stuff, and my feet get better even if I haven't been doing anything messing with my toenails or my feet. Getting the stuff off of my head and my neck benefits other areas of my body, like swelling and weird sensation issues start to diminish as a result of it. I've done this long enough to go over time and have a little bit of time frame to reference it by, and yeah, that is the thing. As long as I keep, combating this stuff, I benefit everywhere I have issues at, not just in that area that I'm dealing with. But it's everywhere. It's everywhere. The entire body, head to toe. It manifests or forms. It becomes a problem in a lot of different ways, and it takes a while to see that those different things that maybe a medical doctor might claim are different disorders or different infections or different diseases are actually the same thing, and just in this part of the body it does this, and in this other part of the body it does a different thing because the tissues are different, and the functioning of our body is different, so it responds in relation to that. I've noticed where I take it off of my head, neck, and face, though, as I used to have serious patches with no hair growing and splotches on my skin of discoloration. And as I burn the stuff off, the white hairs stopped growing back as quickly or as large or prolifically as the normal, quote, normal hairs. And also the patchiness started to disappear where it had stopped growing. It began to grow again in a normal, not in strange ways, like growing odd directions out of it in the wrong color like it had been. But I still see like there's a black line right there at the base of the bone where my chin is there. And then down here in this highly glandular area. Yeah. So anyway, give a little bit of that. I mean, this doesn't burn me either. When it's really, when there's really a whole lot of it to come out, I barely can feel the heat. I can feel the pressure, not heat. I mean, obviously I could burn myself if I put it right up on there against my skin, but I'm not going to do that. You don't need to do that to get rid of the stuff that vaporizes off, because it's so flammable. It vaporizes before it even gets hot enough that it feels like it's burning me. So, and it's there, this is not burning hairs, and if it was, it wouldn't just continue to smoke and smoke and smoke and smoke for hours and days and years. That's
I'll be leaving in about a half hour, honey.
okay. Move. I'm looking at it on the monitor right now. See the black spots? They stay in the same place. I could go shave, and when it grows back again, the black spots will be in the same spot. And the white patchiness will be in the same white patchiness areas. What do we got here? There's a nice little Morgellon type hair trying to pop out my collarbone. There's a lot of lymphs. There's a lot of lymphs in the collarbone. I'm going to burn my shirt there. A lot of lymph glands in there. Bastard. There's my crazy video. Alright. All those things I said are in my opinion. This is not medical advice. It just helps me. And there you go. All based on real physical things that I've observed in the real world, not imaginary shit that people would try and say, oh, this guy's crazy, he's making shit up, he doesn't know what he's talking about, he's not a doctor. And I'm not a doctor.